Good afternoon, traders. This is Lord Sean Connery here with my friend Mohammed for Noel Stradamus. We're going to be covering the oil markets, um, what our expectations are, and what some scenarios for this week to kind of get an idea what the hell is going to go down. Because Friday was basically a fucking curveball, and yeah, that left some people wondering what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Um, I know that there was some tariff news on Friday from the Trump's office, and I mean the combination of the peace agreements that were going on in the Middle East. It's been sending oil into a spiral, and one of the most interesting things was even after the markets closed, both the equities and the crude markets, they continue to fall. And for me, that basically says people are getting fucking margin called, and they are basically being taken out of their position at any old price. And so um, to me, that's going to say that this week is going to be spicy as fuck, and it's going to be scary. But there's also going to be a lot of volatility, which can be very good and very bad. Very good if you catch the right side of a trade, if you work your scenarios and you see what you need to do to trade and get a monster off. Very bad because when it comes to taking size, you might take half your size, your normal size, a third of your normal size, even a fourth, depends on how many contracts you trade. You might have to widen your stops. Um, if you use stop limit orders versus stop market orders, or just your stops might get slipped, and they might get slipped by more than a tick or two. So you got to be very fucking careful out there. But anyways, we are here to discuss what we think, not what we think is going to happen, but we are basically going to prepare our scenarios to get an idea where we want to take trades and how we want to play out things. What we might see oil do, um, as we open up on this Sunday afternoon and especially into the Monday morning. So, anyways, Mohammed, tell me about this daily chart. What are your thoughts on what oil's going to do? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
So, I'm just gonna touch up a little bit on last week because last week was pretty interesting because from the scenario from last week, we were really looking at the prior weekly low, which was right about, let me just make this thinner, which was right there. And I believe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we had like a very large buying tail, so it looked like the market was gonna start heading higher. But instead, what we did end up doing is we came back to the MC point of control, which that was like an area we were paying attention to, and you can kind of see that we broke a 2-day balance just to go into another balance right above. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dalton, but he kind of said that if you break a balance just to balance above, that's usually a sign of a move weakening. So we tested the MC point of control, and I mean, from there, that along with the whole Trump tariff news, the market just completely broke down. It's breaking away from this giant balance that we have up here, which I mean, if you're short, this is kind of what you like to see because now we can start trading in this lower balance. So my expectation for this week is now that we're below this key low volume node, this we were watching it from above. So now that it did not hold from above, now we can kind of watch it from below. Now what I'm paying attention to is, let me just highlight this as well, this profile, do it like this. Now what I'm interested in is, does the market, so do we actually come back up and test that value area high, so the value area high of this distribution, along with that low volume node, and just continue to the downside, trading to the opposite edge, and then we just really are just trading in between this area. Because we spent a lot of time up here balancing out, now the market is likely to just maybe spend some time down here and figure itself out. That's one of my scenarios. Now, if the market just we just continue to the downside and we just like spill lower, what I'll watch is really the value area low of that distribution because I want to see if we can cap over there. So if we can hold that value area low, I'll look for maybe a move back to this high volume node of this distribution. And really, it'll be the same exact thing. So for me, I think both my short scenario and my long scenario end up balancing out in this area. Like, I'm not sure we can really see, being that we just broke from the upper balance, I'm not sure we'll kind of just crack through another balance. So really, my scenarios are we test higher around the value area high, continue lower, so through the VPOC and check the other side, or we head lower first, find support, move higher, and then kind of trade sideways throughout the week. So that's what I'm seeing. And I mean, it looks really the same. One thing I will say is that the VPOC from uh, Friday session that would be important. We did close, so if we actually look at the TPO of this chart, which I should have paused the video because the levels were up and can't share those levels just yet. But what I wanted to say is the market did close. So we do have this. So some traders would say that this is an excess. This is not an excess right now, or this is not an excess because we closed towards the low. So this is more of a spike. So what we would watch is does the market test that spike, that base high, the spike high, and
Yeah,
continue
spike
lower?
retest.
Yeah, so that would be another possible scenario, but that's what I'm seeing in crude right now. Like those are my scenarios. I'm not sure if you're seeing it different or you're seeing it the same way, but what do you think?
It's basically the same. I mean, we broke from such a large balance. We are not going to get the fuck back up there. We are not going to just easily get back in like above the 60 70 area, unless there was something really compelling, uh, and some really compelling news, like no peace agreement, tariffs off the table. I honestly think we're probably going to spend a few weeks down here
Agree.
in this 50s region. Um, because you're going to have some outfits that find oil attractive down at this price. They're going to go ahead and take advantage of the price, but it's not going to just instantly zip on up. So yeah, my two scenarios are basically the same, um, and either one is not really going to happen one over the other. It's really how the market just starts behaving. Because again, I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen at the Sunday Open. Whether we're going to start spiking on up and start moving up to retest the up into the 5890s and whatnot. It's hard to say. Um, I just want to be prepared. But what I am prepared for is we're probably going to start trading between. I mean, we could go back and retest April 9th low, May 5th low, and those are pretty far down. If you take a look at those, that's
Yeah.
what, $50. It's very possible because if you have offsides, it's some big outfits offsides, and you're seeing margin calls, price might extend further than what we would predict, or have like a, not predict, but um expect. We might see a greater than expected move because of activity like that. So we might have oil overshoot some areas where normally you'd find some support. So that's one thing that I'm being very that I'm prepared for, and also being cautious. I do not want to start firing bullets early into sessions. I want to be very, very careful when oil is going to come and meet certain areas of interest, and kind of pay attention to some of the deltas and see if some of the bigger outfits are going to start scooping up, accumulating. Paying attention to where oil might have some really tough areas of getting through, spots where the bids are getting hit constantly, but no progression is happening toward the downside, or vice versa, when offers are just being scooped on up, and buying is going crazy, but there is no rampant exploration to the upside. It's like stalls like that to where it's going to interest me in fading that type of action. And it's probably going to happen pretty damn quick too. I mean, there have been some days where oil has traded pretty slow, but Friday was definitely not one of them. And Friday had such a crazy changing character um, on the action when we were auctioning to the upside, and the order flow was very strong to the upside. And all of a sudden, some single prints and the full session were filled, and that's when it hit the. I think that was the full session volume weighted average price VWAP, and then all of a sudden, it's like the order flow just completely changed character. And I think that also happened at the same times that news happened, and it was so evident. Like if any traders want to replay that day, you're going to see it, and it's really nice to see that because it your eye really catches that, and it lets you know, "Ooh, okay, something changed. I better be fucking careful." But I mean, this thing was just relentless at the downside, and I imagine that there are some people trying to buy the dip or thinking that oil wasn't going to go that far, and holy shit, did it go? That was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive move. And since it closed directly at the lows, who knows what the hell's going to happen? But
Exactly.
yeah, for my scenarios were basically the same. I don't see how we're going to get excited price above that LVN that you marked on the daily, but I definitely do see that oil could probably extend itself even further to test those lows back in April or May. It's a possibility. I'm not leaving it out. I'm not I'm not saying it's a like a what is it, a zero chance. It's a possibility
Mhm.
that it could happen. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because even when you look at the daily, actually, this is like that first balance zone, and if this area doesn't hold, then you kind of come in this second area. So it's like you
Yeah.
have multiple areas where it's like high volume nodes, and if those areas are not holding, it's gonna keep going lower until it finds what it wants, and that's buyers right now.
Yeah. Right now, so with the Sunday Open, I think the Sunday Open is going to tell us what we can expect. I'm going to go ahead and put my, balls on a plate here and say that if the Sunday Open is above that high volume node at like the 5780 that you have right around there,
This one?
that we will probably, yeah, if we open above that area, that is a good thing um, initially, and that will probably kind of chop around and maybe attempt to get above 60. That is my read if we open above that area. If we open below it, I think that we're going to see some pretty good downside take place before we start to find buyers to step in, and we probably won't even see that until the RTH session.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Mm.
It's yeah, that's like a huge line in the sand for the opening action that we will see. But nothing really changes in terms of the scenarios. Either we try to explore higher and we get shut down, we venture lower, and then we balance around that 5780, or we start to explore lower and then we find some response back on up and then we chop around. So
Yeah. And what's nice is like if we do test higher, it's we kind of have that like 60, that round number. Like round numbers, I feel like people like the market toward gravitates towards them. So
mhm,
if we do move
yeah,
towards the 60s and we reject, that could just be like more information for like downside.
yeah, it is a decennial figure, like a
Yeah.
every $10 increment in price. Kind of like way back in the day where stocks have for every once they go from double digit to triple digit valuation, or I guess prices, they reach $100, and that's like a really key psychological spot. Yeah, and not to mention like it's a strong option. It's going to be one of the option contracts spots. Those are every dollar, every half dollar as well. But I mean, 60, 50, 40, 70, 80, those are huge areas.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
yeah, big,
And
big round
below,
numbers.
yeah, and even below for these are so like these gaps are based on the RTH. But even below, we kind of have structure that's not traded. So we have two pretty big gaps, and the market has already dipped in it on Friday. And if we want to continue, I mean, it's there. This area it hasn't been really auctioned very well. So if it wants to trade through it, that possibility is open as well. So that just kind of gives you good targets to the downside if the short does unfold and you're looking for
That would be
targets.
nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice because getting a short, like seeing it fail up at 58.90 or even like, around 60, being able to target, get those downside targets, those are huge.
Yeah.
Especially that one down at 53. Like, holy crap. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a huge move on oil. So
I mean, yeah.
yeah, we'll have to see what happens on the Sunday Open. We have that in about what 41 minutes. So
Yep. Uh, I mean, that's pretty much all I had to cover for today. I think on the TPO, I mean, what's kind of just I'm gonna mention is we kind of have three sets of singles on the weekly. That's something I just sort of look at to see like, is there like a certain direction that's a little bit stronger? So right now, for the current week, like I said, just three sets of singles. We do have this double TPO high, which was on Friday. And then this is Wednesday. We had this one tick failed auction. And I don't think we talked about that yet, but we had this one
we
tick failed
didn't.
auction
No,
right around that MC point of control. And we had another attempt higher, which had another lower high. And then the final attempt, this one was in the RTH, so it was like you're gunning for the overnight high stat. And then once it broke through that pivot, I mean, it was gone. This thing just continued lower. Obviously, they had the news to sort of help it, but that was like how the structure was around the highs. It was looking it was looking like it just kept struggling on every move higher.
hmm yeah, I remember Wednesday when we had that one tick. Yeah, that one tick fail and how we closed in the full session, not to mention the reopen on Wednesday night and the Thursday morning. It actually took out the full session lows, which in the RTH was a gap, but it took it out in the full session. It shifted it back to neutral, and it also had a very balancy feel to it on Wednesday. And I remember you saying something about, dude, we just broke out of a 2-day balance, and here we are balancing again. And that was not an impressive close on the full session. And then Thursday, like Wednesday into Thursday's action, it's still like I remember our scenario was that we were going to venture up to 63 and then find sellers. Well, shit, this thing got
Yeah.
close. It got close to 62.89 or some shit like that. And then, yeah, damn, it was really having a struggle up there. Anytime it came on up there, there was not a very particular amount of interest by buyers to send it further. So yeah, that was actually pretty interesting scenario that actually dropped out. I think we had a combination of both, but yeah, that was actually pretty cool to see that happen.
I mean, that's all I have to cover for last week and this week. This is not financial advice. This is just our read, we're just sharing our prep work of the markets and what we expect for the upcoming week. Anything you do is, on your own like risk. Uh, I'm not sure is that a good enough risk disclaimer?
Yeah, yeah. The risk disclaimer is this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not follow our advice. You do whatever the fuck you want to do with your account, with whatever plan you have.
Yeah,
Yeah, our advice is just for entertainment purposes only.
exactly.
But if you like our advice, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. Yeah,
Exactly.
we have to do that from now on.
Yeah,
Hi, if
yeah.
you loved our content, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe and
And
put a
comment.
cheeky ass comment. Yeah.
Uh, all right. Do you have anything else you want to share, or should I just wrap it up over here?
You could wrap it up. I'm curious on what happens 38 minutes from now on the Sunday Open. So
Cool.
yeah, we'll see what happens, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Take care, everybody.
All right, take care, guys. Later.